Hey you guys, it's Amanda. If you watched my last video, it was all over the place because I was creatively jumping from one thing to another, but sometimes it's just like that. You get making stuff and it's just fun. And then when I'm talking to y'all, I think of other things that I want to do and I'm like, yes, but you can tell this is very soon after that last video because while I was making that video, I thought of something else I wanted to show you guys because I was talking about how I'm working on creating layers in my creative journaling and how like building things up and making, you know, how what you start with in the process may not be what you end up with, right? So does anybody remember journaling by 5's? And I know there are some people who are gonna go, what are you talking about? And other people who are gonna say, I know exactly what that is. So it's been quite a while. I would probably have to go back and like look through some old videos that Shannon Green actually has on her channel. And if she's watching, hey Shannon. She did journaling by 5's and it was kind of to help you get your creativity flowing, right? So the idea was that you would start off with some pages and you would just layer, you set a timer for 5 minutes and you just go through and you're slapping the paint down, you're slapping the colors down, whatever you want on the bottom. You know, at one point another 5 minutes you're doing collage, another 5 minutes you're adding images, another 5 minutes you might be adding like words and text, and another 5 minutes you might be adding in like stamps and like your final doodles and whatever. So I did it one time and you guys know I use what I have. So this is an old Discover card envelope, right? And so my journaling by 5's, and I did it, see, look, I like the, let me stand up, the little pelicans. There was a pelicans and a piano in the water. I don't know why, but I found this when I was digging through some stuff and I thought, you know, I haven't done anything like this creatively in a long time, and I liked it because as I was saying in my last video, I tend to overthink. I'm like, okay, I want this to look like, you know, whatever. And then I'm like, okay, step 1 is this, step 2. And then I'm like, ooh, that didn't turn out the way I liked it. So now the whole thing is ruined. No, creativity is fluid, right? I feel like I feel like I need to say that louder, out loud to myself. I feel like I need to write that down, that creativity is fluid, right? You can blend from one thing into another, which is exactly how I do because like you guys have seen in several of my videos, and I will link those ones down below. I'm kind of chaotic when I don't edit too much and you guys actually see my whole process start to finish. But so that's what this was. This was journaling by 5's, and this was to make me break out of that rut, right? So this was made out of a Discover card envelope, and I think, let me look at the pages, it was envelopes and junk mail, and I just bound it all together and I followed the journaling by 5's prompts. If you guys are interested in all of that, we could do some together. It would be really fun to do because you don't want something huge that you're going to journal in, and like my you know, something small, right? Something really small and simple would be perfect for this. I even have, oh, it's buried. I have another little booklet that somebody sent me that would be perfect for this. But what you do, like I said, is you go through and you just slap your color down. Then your next thing will be putting collage materials, and you could do that whichever, if you want to do collage first, then color, sure. Then you do any stenciling and stamping, and then you go back in and you add images, and you have 5 minutes, right? Start to finish, not 5 minutes per page. You have 5 minutes for the whole thing. So it is just slap the color down, move to the next page, slap a color down. So this was my first page. Oh my God, get back in line. This was my first page, right? I loved it because I like these pelicans. And this was my next one. You can tell this is old. I like this one. Jimmy, Johnny, and Joey. She puts their 3 cups on the table, and I had this awesome picture of this glass with the bourbon in it, and I thought that was cool. And I had done, I think it has bubble wrap that I used to kind of stamp color onto the page. Put that down. Somebody's getting something delivered. There's a big rumbly truck outside. I have this one right here. I liked the stairs coming down. I stenciled, I added some scrap paper in, and it was on an envelope, so I actually could stick something in here if I wanted to. I have this one. Can you remember who you were before the world told you who you should be? I still love that quote. But I had this, and I thought that went great on that page. And then I opened up, wait, there we go. This is a very interactive flippy thing. So I had this page that I did. And I will say this made me experiment with colors, and it made me have to make flash decisions for colors and images and that sort of thing. And I'll show you how I did it for real if you guys want to journal by 5's to get out of your creative rut. Okay, so this one made me think of fish, right? Because the envelope had this end, and this looked like a fishtail to me. And so I had this stencil that kind of looks like fish scales a little to me. And then somebody had cut all these fish and sent me this envelope as a Happy Meal, whenever this was a while ago, with these fish in it. And so I thought they were great to go on here. And so, you know, I stuck them on. There's still things I could go in here and add. I could add doodling and all kinds of stuff, but it didn't fit into my 5 minutes. So this was just literally within the constraints of that 5-minute time. Okay. But then on the other side, I have this hot mess. I'm not sure what I was doing here, but I had this really cool woman right here. I had the, you know, Rosie the Riveter. You're worth it. We could do it, right? Put lipstick, flowers, purple, whatever. And I had this envelope with the window so that when you flip it over, like you could see, I don't know if you can, because it's really hard to see. You can see my alligator through the window. And then when I flip it over, you could see her through the window. And I'm telling you, oh, and this was unintentional. The envelope had these 3 holes in it. And when I glued her down, I had this eyeball peeking through the other side, which normally would freak me out because I don't like faces in my journaling. But this one flips out too. So I had this one. And once again, I think I tried to use bubble paper or plastic wrap or something to stamp my colors on. And then I have this one, it's the last one, which is a lot of architectural images because I love those. But I thought that was fun because it did help me with this. It helped me learn that I could start with one layer, add another layer, on and on and on and on until something is built up that is really cool. And I still feel like this could be added to and worked on in whatever, but that's because I had already gone through the exercise of getting everything on here. If it hadn't been something that was a snap judgment, kind of get things on the paper type of thing, I really don't think I would have gotten as far with this as I did. You know, I think I would have overanalyzed each page. But I love doing this. This was Journaling by 5's. You guys can find all of the original videos over on Shannon Green's channel. If you guys want to do a Journaling by 5's with me, if you think that sounds fun, we can do it. I've also considered doing a live at some point, and that could be fun during a live because I don't know, I don't know if I could actually do a whole like intentional journaling spread with people if I was having to interact and think at the same time. And this is very like turn it off and just do it type of thing. And I really, 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 really liked that aspect. I really like this little booklet that I made because the pages flip and has windows and all that sort of stuff. So if you guys want to make maybe a nicer version of a junk envelope, junk mail journal, we could do that too. You guys just leave me comments. I love your comments. I read every single one. And let me know. Let me know what you're interested in, if any of that sounds fun to you. And remember, creativity is fluid. That is my new saying. That's gonna go in a journal. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.